So what are the best crypto altcoins for 2024 ranked from best to worst? Well, as a matter of fact, we're ranking them from a 50x all the way down to I'm just damn well unsure where they can really go. Now, we've got about 44 altcoins here. So if you do the math, if I spend a minute on each, that's going to be 44 minutes. We can't afford to do that. I'm going to try my hardest to give you guys my opinions and the reasons why as damn well quick as I possibly can, okay? So forgive me if I'm not exactly explaining everything for you like Reddit freaks down below who are going to like super analyze everything I say. I'm going to try my best. Now, just like any good investor should, and traders as well, we should reanalyze what I'm pretty much saying here every couple months at least, right? And this is a big part of what I teach in my portfolio series and my exit course, because ultimately things change. And if you're someone who sticks with a certain flow, you're going to be the one that's washed away by the current. So we have to kind of mold our thinking and strategies along with this as well. Now, if you take a look at the screen, here are the 44 altcoins, okay? A lot of the ones you know and love, some of them we don't have in here. Of course, I have to prune a few out because it's just way too long. But I want to say, if you're asking, how is this freak going through 44 altcoins? How is he analyzing all of this? Well, the way I'm analyzing it is to do with part of the things I teach in that course. Now, a lot of you guys would have seen this. I have spoken about this a fair few times on the channel for complete free. I obviously go super in depth and analyze this in the course, but I want to say this is fundamentally how I'm analyzing all of these altcoins, right? Pumpamentals is essentially the word we're looking for here, right? We're not talking about none of this Jerry Banfield shit, none of this like pumpamentals, but we're looking at metrics. We're looking at actually what will make a project pump in 2025. After 2025, we can look at the metrics and shit. That's when real fundamental analysis comes into it. Not for 2025, it is pure pumpamentals. And also, if you are someone looking at this list going, hey, Kyron's ranked this at a 50x, I'm going to pick it up too. Just like I touch on in another course, again, that is a bundle, right? There's 3 courses in that bundle. So I'm also going to be selling these courses individually as well. So in this course here, which is strictly the course on how to optimize your portfolio, I show you guys and tell you, basically run you through how to analyze your portfolio yourself to optimize it for the bull run. And actually what I touch on here is breaking them up into risk profiles, which I have done in the past on the channel, and then giving them, roughly speaking, an ROI expectation. And you obviously want to have a good mix of preservation and creation, right? So, but again, remember, like, you don't look at some of the altcoins Kyron picks, and I'm talking in the third person now, right? Don't look at some of the altcoins I pick and think to yourself, okay, I want to snag that now and snag that now. Work within what is comfortable for you and work within your own means. Otherwise, you're going to end up literally crying the bed because you've made not enough money or you've lost too much money, right? So with that all being said and out the window, of course, you guys know how I do. I'm going to leverage CoinMarketCap over here to help me out and give you guys some indication of what the current market caps are right now. So we're going to go alphabetical order. Let's not waste any time. It's been like almost 5 minutes already. So let's start off with Algorand. Now, again, I could very easily sit here. I'm naturally wanting to do it right now with each of these projects. Let me try to do this as fast as possible. So for Algorand, plain and simple, I'm unsure. Now, I have put it in a clear category before. The reason I'm unsure about it is just simply because Algorand right now, when we're talking about this, right, this particular method, this fundamentally is what is the most important in 2025. Well, Algorand suffers from the fact that people still feel like it's governed by the SEC, that it's dictated by the SEC, and fundamentally speaking, it's really not. I believe this project has got a lot of room to grow, but we'll stick it there for now, and I'm damn well sure once some of this starts to fade away, I'm going to start putting it up. Matter of fact, if, and I do believe it'll blow over, I'd probably comfortably say a 30x, right? It has recently started appreciating though. Arbitrum, so what is Arbitrum right now? It's about a 1.3 billion market cap, so actually it's not too high, not as high as what I thought it was, to be honest with you guys. Now, I do love Arbitrum. They have a really great aspect of the network. I think it's Nova, where they have obviously optimized their network towards specifically gaming, and this is going to be a massive market. I think Arbitrum is one of the ones we look at as a business first. In my opinion, I'm comfortably going to say a 20x. Now, again, we're looking at a 10x difference here, so it could be in the 20s. 20, 21, 29, but I think along that line. So, Ace the Network. Now, these guys are really small, right? 341. They've actually just recently bridged part of the network over to Polygon. I think it's just room to grow here, right? There's so much to grow. They have a really big foothold, I believe, in Japan as well. I'm going to say 30x. AVAX, I mean, look, they had a recent, they've blown up recently, right, from their whole deal with JP Morgan. They're a bit down right now, but needless to say, I think they're a great project, and they really are not spoken about enough, but because they are such high in the market cap rankings, I'm not going to place them any more than, honestly, I think I'm going to say high 10s. right? So considering this is 10x or under, I'm gonna put it in the 20x, but I really feel like it's probably gonna be around a 15 to a 20x. Bitcoin under a 10x, not gonna waste any time there. Bitcoin SV, you guys may or may not have heard of Bitcoin SV. I love the project. I'm a big fan of Kurt Workert Jr., who I interviewed on the channel some time ago. Really, really smart guy, works for CoinGeek as a Bitcoin historian, knows his shit. So, matter of fact, I'm just bullish on the project mainly because of him. But to be honest with you guys, it's a great project. I like it, but it's all about fundamentals. And in that case, 20x. I really feel I could do more than that, but again, it's all based on fundamentals. So, fucking BNB chain. Let's just throw that down here. I got no time for that project at all. Cardano, I would love to have more time for it. I do like it. I know a lot of you guys are invested in it. I'm going to put it in a 20x, even though it's a high market cap, right? It's about a 13 billion market cap. Jesus Christ. That's higher than I thought it was, to be honest with you. But I still feel like it can push towards a high teens, probably early 20s, definitely. Casper with a C. Look, Casper's are still low market cap, right? Yeah, 371 million. I think this is a bit like an XDC network, right? Where we're not going to see it pump and then all of a sudden, bang, catch you later. So, yeah, and there's fundamental reasons behind that, lots of NDAs, and ultimately they're really targeting like the enterprise consortium networks, right? Hyperledger, Quarter Quorum rather. So there's a lot of room to grow here for these guys, but I really think they're going to take off plus 2025, like down the track. So in my opinion, 30x, to be honest with you guys. Now, Chainlink, yeah, I mean, guys, I've been calling this for ages now. It was just like, how could you not like look at Chainlink and think to yourself, this is going to blow up, right? And obviously it's at an 8 bill market cap right now. We've been calling it since it was bloody 450, but I'm not going to sit here and, tell you guys I'm the best in the world. A lot of other people were as well. So Chainlink, look, honestly, from here, if we're talking about from now, I mean, look, honestly, I can't put it past the 20x from here, but damn well sure a few months ago, or at least a month ago, it would have been 30x for sure, right? Atom, yeah, look, I love Atom. They have a bit of a problem, right, with the whole network and the whole fee system, right? Because look at a network like Atom, right, where they historically have been struggling with gaining fees and stuff like that, right? Which is a big problem for networks, because if you don't earn money as a business, you're not going to be able to scale the business. And this is something that people don't talk about. This is online business models, which I do talk about in my course as well. You have to fundamentally understand 3 principles of crypto. And needless to say, you look at a project like HBAR where it's scaled 10x its revenue over 1 year. You look at Atom and you think to yourself, man, what if? But I love Atom, great network. There's always going to be abilities to make this thing work. So in my opinion, well, what are we talking about with market caps right now? It's always about the market cap, guys. 3.5, again, you factor that in with the fundamental aspects as well. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we look at anywhere between, I'm going to say high 20s. Again, not do it justice here, but it could be in the 30s, but I'm going to say high 20s. Dogecoin, just look, if we're talking about multiples here, I think Doge has a really big leg to stand on. If Musk puts it on Twitter and it's fundamentally what underpins Twitter payments or X payments, then yeah, I would put it up here 100%. Like even from where it is right now at 11 bill market cap. Oh well, that's actually that's not going to happen. But you guys know what I'm saying. It's going to perform well in that case. But as of right now, let's talk critically here. I think again, pumpamentals, right? Crypto is pumpamental. It's a speculation damn market. People can't get this through their damn heads. We're not looking through the same lens as what I would like to analyze these at. So in my opinion, 20x. As crazy as that might sound to some of you guys, is it? Again, we got to factor in inflation, which we're not doing in this case. But, roughly speaking, that's about maybe not. That's about a 200 billion market cap. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to sanity levels really quickly. But do not underestimate Dogecoin. Ethereum, I'm going to put it up here. I think it's going to probably maybe teeter on a 10x, maybe even push slightly over a 10x or under, but around that level. Ethereum Classic, I don't even want to begin with this. I know some of you guys like it. Shout out to Mark. I'm pretty sure Mark, the admin in my Discord, by the way, you guys should join. He's definitely, I think, in favor of Ethereum Classic, but in my opinion, why waste your time on that? I'm going to put it unsure, but if there was an option for a bin, I'd put it in there as well. Filecoin, in my opinion, look, storage is going to be a pretty big and important factor in this next bull run, and it's only going to increase, but I feel like there are better options than Filecoin. Filecoin does differ, right? You have a project like Arweave, Filecoin. They have 2 different, sizes of the coin, right? Filecoin pay as you go, Arweave pay once, done. In my opinion, I do like Filecoins over Arweaves, to be honest with you. Depends on what you're using it for. Again, focus, Kyron. We're not spending 10 minutes per project here. 2.2 billion market cap. I mean, look, if it doesn't 20x, I'll be quite surprised. Flux, I'm not going to waste much time with that. I think Flux can 50x at 100 million market cap rather. Look, I think honestly it can go to that level. You guys know time and time again I've spoken about this project. I want to interview Dan, the founder, at some point, at some stage. I know a couple of you guys in the community have been pushing me towards this for quite a while, but yeah, nevertheless, great project. It's competing with like the likes of Render, which we'll get to in a second here, except it's a lot lower market cap, doing a lot more, or at least not as specialized. It's more broad, right? Gala Games, this is going to be one you guys are going to want to hear from me, right? I know a lot of you are itching to hear, what do I think about Gala? Is Gala going to hit $1? What's Gala going to do? Look, is it going to hit $1? Well, I think it can. I think Gala can hit $1, right? Which is what? That's about a 50x or so. So I think it can do it again, but the recent news with this whole butting heads of essentially their founding team members, right? That's dangerous. That's scary. And I do apologize if all this has blown over since I last dove directly into Gala. But, in my opinion, again, it's all based on fundamentals, right? And what is fundamentally behind this narrative? What's it in? Meme? What's it separates it from the rest? What's the USP? What's the wow factor? What's the, hey, when some big important news happens in this area, when everyone's talking about gaming, why is Gala a step above the rest? What's that magnet, right? Then we have popularity as well. That's also another, blow-off moment typically formed by news and tokenomics and team. But so that's what I'm thinking to myself, right? What's the meme? What's that wow factor? And is it strong enough to still put Gala above the rest? Well, this is why we analyze every single month this list, because things come and change. 20x. I still think it's going to look, honestly, I would put it in the 50x column, but it's just that news. Again, that's why Algorand's down here. Otherwise, Algorand would be up here, right? H-bar, bloody hell, H-bar. Look, I'm expecting in between a 20 and 30x with H-bar myself. The reason why I say bloody hell H-bar is because I don't really want to waste too much time. I want to put it in the 50x. Damn well, I want to put it damn up here if I could. But in all seriousness, I think, I'm going to put in the 20x because, again, 20x, these columns are 20x to 29x, or just before that next level. I think it could 30x, but let's be somewhat realistic. Immutable X, right? It had a massive pump recently with the whole sort of gaming, like sort of baby pump gaming recently had, right? It's slightly down a little bit now, I think. Well, it's still up, but it's down from what it was before. Look, I think Immutable X is a fantastic project, and I think it's going to be honestly, you could argue a step above Gala at this point, right? So I'm going to actually put it in the 30x, but let me just confirm again, I did kind of gloss over, 1.6 billion market cap. I'm going to keep it in the 30x just because I feel like it could 30x, and in this case, pump higher, because as, Alex Becker, and all you guys know Alex Becker, he's mentioned multiple times, gaming's going to be huge. Now, Injective. Now, I've had many requests to do this. I've actually got on my list of upcoming videos, Injective is penciled in there to do a full review once I get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Injective, and I haven't just yet, but I've added it to this list because I know you guys want me to talk about it, right? Fundamentally, I think it's an awesome project, really, really interesting, and a very suitable and important use case for crypto. Fundamentally, this decentralized, essentially what crypto will basically be known for is this decentralized finance world where you can do anything online, especially relating to, crypto and finance, okay? So in my opinion, Injective has quite a long way to go, but again, we're talking about the market cap in this case being 1.3 billion. Now, I'm just going to go purely off the fact that I've had request after request for this, and again, you gain community sentiment on something, typically you're in the right place. Look at Casper, for example. Strong community, and the strong evangelists, and that's what pushes projects up, ultimately, for talking broadly. So I'm going to say, look, honestly, I could probably put it up towards a 20 to 30x, but I'm going to keep it tame until, of course, I did a deep dive review, and you guys can come back in the next few months here when I revisit this again, maybe even adding more projects, and I'll be able to talk more about that and any other project I review in the meantime. ICP, I think ICP can do a 20 to 30x as well. I think the market cap's definitely up there, right? It's 2 billion market cap. So I'm going to put it again in the 20x. I feel like under a 20x is definitely unrealistic. I would probably be a little bit, it just wouldn't be right putting it in the 30x category, but make no mistake, again, it's been a lot cheaper than this recently, right? Even if we click in here, right? I know I shouldn't be doing this, but it's been definitely a lot lower recently, right? Down about, it's under $3. So we would have put it in the 30x column back then as well. Same with H-bar, of course, recently pumped up. So what can you say? IOTA, I think IOTA falls short actually because it isn't a bad narrative, right? We talk about these narratives being very, very important for the explosive potential for a project. And so in that case, I'm going to put IOTA down in the 10x area. Jasmy, I'm going to put it down. Oh, look, I don't like Jasmy. You guys know that. I think fundamentally has a long way to go. I just think off hype alone, 20x, but I'm going to put it in the 20x because all the supply is out as well. Cardano, I need to review Cardano again. I'm going to be reviewing it again. I think Cardano can definitely 30x. Yeah, the market cap is quite low as well, 147 compared to its competitor. Casper comes out of nowhere. Well, look, guys, I mean, it's pumped up recently because apparently it's on Binance and perpetuals now. So, I mean, look, at this current, I'm going to say a 20x max because it's a $3 billion market cap. So I'm not expecting it to go any more than a 20x. But, you know, ask me a few months ago, yeah, it would have been up. Kusama, I reckon 20x, maybe even a 30x at this point. It's a very low market cap at 207 million. I might put it in the 30x column just because, again, it's quite an interesting project built off, same technology as Polkadot, but a smaller project. Mina, I'm just going to throw it up there, 40x. Moonbeam, again, so Moonbeam is built on Polkadot itself. It's quite a small market cap right now. I'm going to put it in the 30x column. Multiverse X, in my opinion, I mean, they recently had the whole X Day news, and it's got, amazing technology, amazing. They've fundamentally solved big crypto issues, scalability issues, decentralized issues, so on and so forth. They're essentially a pair of lungs, being able to expand and contract with the demand put on the network. In my opinion, the other thing that's going to hurt it from here is going to be the market cap in the recent pump. 1.1 billion market cap. It was actually like under 800 million not long ago. So I still think it can 30x from here. I know it's crazy, but again, it's really in the very specific niche of around the multiverse / gaming area. I think as well it can leech off that. Near Protocol, because it's got a massive upgrade coming likely at the end of 2024, I'm going to say from these actually, again, it's bumped up almost 2 billion. I was going to put it in the 30x column, but again, it has pumped, so we'll put it in the 20x. Now, Million hasn't actually been released yet. A lot of you guys know about Million thanks to the channel, which I'm loving because that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring it here. I think depending on how it launches and goes, I think it can hit a 40x, maybe even a 50x. I might put it in the 50x column because it's a decentralized computation and storage project, which again is actually funny because it would be competing with the likes of Flux. Oasis, there's some big things brewing with Oasis, but ultimately, again, does it have the marketing? I think so. Again, we got 2 years to go here, guys. A lot of room to still travel before we have to start panicking. Oh my God, the marketing isn't good, So there's fundamentally a lot to talk about Oasis. So I'm not gonna talk too much about it in this case. But I do love the project. Its whole privacy narrative is going to be huge. So I'm going to say, well, let's look at the market cap. I think it's not too high, right? Yeah, 500 million. So I'm going to say a 30x here. And I know Market Mobster, if he's watching this, Market Mobster on Twitter, he's now a friend of mine recently, and I know he loves Oasis. He's a great influencer. So Polkadot, touchy topic. You guys don't know about what's happening if you follow me on Twitter. The whole governance and they're looking to ultimately, recently with Party Technologies, they recently gave the keys over to essentially the decentralized governance. And one of the first things I'm pretty sure was proposed was the fact that, hey, you guys, the governance proposed that we want to push Polkadot out to more people, and they started giving out grants, or they proposed to give out grants to a whole bunch of influencers. I think Altcoin Daily put their hand up and said, hey, we'll make like 10 videos for like, what was it? I think it was like $500,000 or $200,000 or some crazy thing like that. So I think that this has taken Polkadot a bit on the back, but we're talking about Polkadot now being at 528, was a bit lower. So what's the market cap being? 6 billion. I think this is going to hurt DOT for a bit. It's definitely going to slow the progress down. So I'm going to keep it at a 20x, but I think high 10x, low 20x, I think area, if there was a possibility to put it there. So another big boy over here, Polygon Matic, over at a $7.7 billion market cap. I mean, these guys are, if you're talking about projects actually as businesses, adopting in the real world and actually, creating clients that are real fucking clients, right? These are the guys to do it as a scaling approach as well. I've got Arbitrum at a 20x. They're significantly smaller than Polygon, but I'm going to also put it in the 20x, and I would put it in the 10x area, but I think, again, just because of it being a giant, well known, it's much more safe, and again, it's pretty much Ethereum at this point, right? It basically is what Ethereum was supposed to be. I feel like it's going to still 20x base of adoption. Quant is quite low. I feel sorry for Quant. It hasn't been popping off, but again, this is fundamentally where we can go wrong as investors. Oh, we're panicking. Why isn't it pumping when the rest of the market's pumping? Then FUD starts coming in, and Evangelist starts murmuring and making these things public, and then the the casual investors start going to themselves, oh my God, well, maybe these evangelists are talking about this project going to shit. Maybe it is going to shit. Well, it's not. It's fucking not, fundamentally speaking. $1 billion market cap. Look, I think most definitely a 20x here. Actually, matter of fact, I think it can most definitely a 30x, maybe even 40x. Why this? Why 30x? Well, because it's a $1 billion market cap right now, guys. Essentially, right? So, quants, I mean, just look at the fucking roadmap events. Not the roadmap, the previous announcements, right? This is a big part of popularity, and I believe it's going to catch up. Just like it caught up to Chainlink with this whole, Chainlink pump. Render, yeah, look, Renders are pretty expensive right now. It's $3.50. It was, I swear to God, it was $3 like this morning. So 41% today. Honestly, from here, I'm going to say low 20s. Reserve rights are doing really big things, guys. Do not underestimate. It's low market cap. Don't underestimate these guys. Again, for brevity's sake, I'm just going to throw them in the 30x, but there's reasons why. So what about Solana over here? Well, I would put Solana up in the 20x column or maybe even the 30x column, but we got to remember it's a $25 billion market cap now. We're no longer talking about a little baby, is $5 to $10 billion market cap project. Solana's up there now, so I'm going to put it in the high 10s. Don't get shitty with me, please. High 10s from here at least, right? Stellar. I love Stellar. Love Stellar. You guys know that, right? So if we come down here, $3 billion market cap, I mean, right there with XRP, okay? And so in my opinion, so I'm going to put in the 30x only because I'm going to jump the gun here and put XRP in the 20x column. I think high teens, low 20s, and why? XRP is even a higher market cap than Solana by like 10 billion. Why? Well, because fundamentally speaking, I think XRP will have the possibility to grow because we're going to have this SEC news, and I feel like that with the Bitcoin ETF, you don't know, BlackRock might want to cause, or at least there was some speculation of this recently, but there might be something relating to XRP because it has been a standalone amazing project in crypto for a long time. There could be something that comes from that, right? So I'm going to put it there, but again, high teens, probably even put it next to Solana if you wanted to really be picky here, but so ThorChain, recently pumped up here, guys, quite a bit. Again, it's come back down a little bit. In my opinion, I don't love it. I don't love ThorChain. It's a heavily in DeFi, cross-chain DeFi, basically, right? It's fundamentally a secure network, but for me, it doesn't tickle my, I'm not going to lie, it just does not tickle my fancy. And I know I'm trying to be objective in this case, but I just don't think it's going to pump some of the other big ones here. I think pushing, again, it's going to sound stupid me putting it next to Solana or XRP, but I do really think that it's probably going to fit somewhere in between here. I'm going to be safe and just throw it in there for all you psychos that are going to pin me in the comments below because it's next to Solana down here. So what about Uniswap? Well, I'm unsure about Uniswap. I just haven't done enough research into it. I do think, though, when you think about it, Uniswap is everywhere. Uniswap's on Polkadot. It's literally everywhere, right? So now with interoperability becoming more, much more succinct, it's going to be able to be leveraging its actual, real TVL a lot better because these things can be corresponding across the chains rather than fragmenting liquidity. So I'm unsure, but it could definitely be up there. It's quite a high market cap though, at about 3 billion-ish, at least in my opinion, right? VeChain, I'm going to throw VeChain down here for the same reason, unfortunately, of IOTA, but I love VeChain. I think VeChain's one to look out for the long term. And XDC, what are they right now? They're under $1 billion. Now, they recently pumped up, I believe, well and truly over that. And that goes to show you guys that this thing can move. It just has to be partnered with the right news at the right time. And again, it just doesn't look appealing right now. But trust me when I say this thing is going to fly. 30x for this guy, no problem. So that's going to do the list, guys. What do you all think down below? Now, of course, everything at the end of the day is slightly subjective based on your own research. You might know a bit more about a project, a bit less about a project. Therefore, your views will change. We are very tribal creatures, so I'm not going to blame you for feeling a little bit butthurt down below. But I would love if you liked the video, guys, because again, a lot of work goes into these, and I only know if you enjoyed it if you hit the like button, especially if you made it this far. Guys, don't forget, go down below, first link in the description, have a look, pre-order the course bundle package. You will not regret it. Thanks so much. Talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.